So, so that's really, really, really good. I mean, people sometimes are more introverted, others are extroverted. Some people have these like superficial relationships with others, and I'm a deep soul. So if you
Mhm.
connect with me, we're going to connect and we're going to be great friends for a long time. I have a couple handfuls of those.
Yes.
But but the truth is that if you're a person who is viewing viewing your life and just on the outskirts, if you're making excuses, and this could be due to an eating disorder, it could be due to some other addictions as well,
Sure.
or self interpretation. I mean, again, I that's like an interesting topic actually,
Yes.
in and of itself. So you wanted to have a more real relationship with your nephews and be able to be
Yes.
there for them. Meredith, tell me, what are some of the things that you would do while you were, in under that eating disorder lifestyle? What are the things that would keep you distant from everything?
Sure. I mean, so I had such fear of judgment, um, that I truly believed when I walked out the door, people were judging me. They were talking about my body weight and shape. And I was so scared of that perceived judgment. There were many times I wouldn't even leave the house. So I would lock my door, I would put down the shades, and I would literally hide in my bedroom. And I wasn't able to leave the house. I mean, the few times I left the house was to go to therapy, and to go to the gym and to go get Starbucks coffee. So that was my three outings, because
Mm.
I was so self-conscious about this judgment that I didn't want people to see me. And so, ironically, you think that, oh, okay, I'm going to change the shape of my body and I'm going to have, I write this in the book, I'm going to have this booming social life and I'm going to be out and about, where I stayed home in big sweats, sequestered and alone and miserable and depressed. So I would cancel, I would not answer the phone, I wouldn't connect with people, I wouldn't go out with my friends anymore. There are many years that my friends didn't see me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow,
it's really
that
that
is.
disconnection from other people. And, I often say I was like a robot, just like walking around listening to my eating disorder. And I wasn't able to connect to my authentic self. And so that's why, with like my part of recovery, was being able to connect back to that. But also, it's not about where I was before the eating disorder. It's to identify who I want to be, right? I don't have to be all these roles that people tell me I'm supposed to be. And we all fall into roles, right? So it's like, oh, I'm the straight A student. Okay, that's a role. I have to be that my whole life. Okay, I'm the role. I'm the people pleaser. I avoid conflict. Okay, that's my role. And then I was like, wait a second, do I want that to be my role? And I realized
Mm.
no. And for me, it was really, identifying and using my voice and being able to make my own decisions, without thinking or needing to please other people. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you lived a life of fear of judgment,
Yes.
and it was so severe that you were hiding inside of your house. I just can't. I mean, I had depression in my early 20s, and
Sure.
my friends would, come on, Alicia, let's go. We're going to go camping. We're going to have fun. We're going to go out. And I remember my husband now, he would say to me, you know, what, come on, let's go. You like these people. Why don't, he couldn't understand when I was in depression, and it wasn't an eating disorder, although I did have an issue when I was younger. Now that we're talking about this,
Yes.
um, when I was in my 20s, my mother was married to a man, my stepfather,
Okay.
and I found out that my mother was cheating on my stepfather,
Okay.
and I suddenly became like unable to eat. Like I had a feeling in my throat that I couldn't swallow, or it wasn't safe. I couldn't. It was a strange thing. So I did. I talked about it to my friends, and I went to counseling, and they said, oh, well, eating and anything with the mouth is associated with the mother, usually. This is what the therapist told me. So I said, okay, now I have this knowledge. I'm a smart person. I can do this. So I'm going to eat a banana. It's soft. I'm going to eat 2 bites of a banana. Well, I couldn't do it. It was freaky. It was so strange.
Wow.
I told my stepfather, I confronted him and I said, I have something to tell you. And, and it broke his heart. And then he was a detective. So he followed my mother and sure enough, found out she was seeing another man. And so you think then I'd be okay because this situation came to a full head. It was resolved. It was outside of me. Well, no. For probably 2 years, and I was like emaciated. You could see it in my face. I was thin. I was eating Cheetos, the puff kind. I was eating those. I had a job, but it was, I knew it wasn't normal, So, and then there was a flood. Then there was like hurricanes and the town next to me got flooded and our condo was okay, but it was still, then my stepfather died. This was a horrible thing, which he was killed suddenly on a motorcycle. And anyway, I have my memoir, which I'm going to put out one of these days.